Guys, look at this blizzard right now. It's literally insane. It's so pretty though. What? Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. As you can probably tell by the title, this video is going to be all about my health and fitness journey, and there's a lot that I want to talk about, so sorry if this video gets a little bit long, so I'm just going to keep the intro short and sweet. But if you want to see how I transform myself from this to this to this, then just keep on watching. Alright, so growing up, I was a really active kid. My mom signed me up for ballet when I was 3 years old, and I remember just like falling in love with dance right from the start. I've been doing it ever since. I have a bunch of cousins, and when we were little, we would literally just go to my grandmom's house and just play outside all day, and in the summer we like basically lived in a pool, so like we were always just swimming and playing outside. I was always really skinny. I guess I just had a really good metabolism like most kids do, but looking back at pictures, I had like knobby knees and like my elbows would like stick out right here. I always just like ate whatever I wanted, but for some reason I was literally obsessed with milk. Like instead of going to grab a glass of water, I would grab a glass of milk. Like I was just drinking milk like all day, every day. I was always eating cereal with milk in it. And I think it was around the age of like 8 when I started to develop like really bad stomach problems. Like my stomach would always hurt and I would just get these like crampy, like knotted stomach aches all the time. And this one time in the middle of the night, I remember waking up in my hallway. Like I don't know how I got there, but I just woke up. I was crying and like just shaking and like hunched over in so much pain. Like it was the worst stomach pain I've ever experienced. And like I just remember my mom like holding me and being like, what's wrong with you? Why does your stomach hurt this bad all the time? And so my mom was like, okay, you gotta stop drinking so much milk. Like, this is not good for you. You're probably lactose intolerant. So I was like, okay, fine. And I stopped drinking milk because I clearly didn't want to be in stomach pain all the time. And I think it was around after that whole thing happened that I started to get really interested in like reading food labels. And my mom was probably like, why does this kid care so much what's in her fruit roll-ups? But I literally would just sit there and read the labels, read how much fat was in everything, how much sugar, all the different ingredients. And I just thought it was really cool that like I could control what kind of like nutrients I was putting into my body. And I know it sounds kind of funny, but like I guess just at a young age I found nutrition and health just really fascinating. So then middle school rolled around, and you know, all my friends started like going through puberty and developing and getting bigger, but like I wasn't. My friends were always wearing like Victoria's Secret yoga pants and like Hollister jeans, and I couldn't even fit in like a 00. So I was like, what the hell? Like, mom, why aren't I growing? Everyone else is growing. Like, what's wrong with me? I'm like a freak. I was constantly like comparing myself to my friends and the other girls around me, and I was really self-conscious about how small I was, and like my chest was so flat and everyone else like was getting boobs, and it was really unhealthy for like a 12-year-old girl to kind of go through that and, you know, feel such low self-esteem. You know, middle school is hard enough as it is. Everyone feels awkward and like out of place. Like people would make fun of me for not having boobs. Like I remember this boy one time called me flats because my chest was so small, and I would make my mom go out with me and buy like bras to try to make my boobs look bigger, but I mean it was obvious that I was just, there was nothing there. And I remember like sitting in my room at night like lifting these little like 10-pound weights trying to make my arms bigger because I just looked like a walking noodle. So that went on for like a few years, and I kind of just learned to deal with it. Like I figured this is just how things are, whatever. The one good thing that came out of it was that I could literally eat whatever I wanted and not gain a pound. And looking back, like that's so awesome, and I didn't really appreciate it at the time, but whatever. So then came high school, and it was like the end of freshman year when I finally started like maturing and developing. My boobs finally started to grow, and then they quickly stopped growing because they're still not there. I remember I grew like 5 inches in 1 year, and like my thighs started to grow. I could like finally fit in pants, and like I was finally starting to look like the same size as everyone else. You know, I didn't feel like so much of an outcast. I was still pretty skinny, but like I didn't look like a 7th grader anymore, so I was pretty happy. And I mean, I ate like pretty well. I was still dancing. I was in shape. So then junior year rolled around, and I started taking birth control, which made my metabolism slow down like significantly, and it made me start gaining weight like pretty quickly. I also started dating my boyfriend, and you know, when you first get in a relationship, you're just like happy and you go out to eat all the time and you gain like that comfort weight. I was partying and drinking with my friends a lot. I was not eating good, and I was never like fat, but I was just like fluffy, you know what I mean? Like I had gained honestly like 20 pounds of just like extra fluff, and it just wasn't a body that I was used to at all. Like I was used to being thin and like in shape, and like I wasn't really fitting in my clothes or my bathing suit tops like I used to, and I was constantly like looking at pictures of other girls on like Pinterest and Instagram, and I started to compare myself once again. And this time it wasn't that I wanted to be bigger and more filled out, I wanted to be skinnier. So I think it was around that time when I actually started watching YouTube, and I was just researching like what kind of food I should be eating, how to exercise. I didn't really know how to like work out because I'd only ever danced my whole life, so I'd never really gone to the gym or like lifted weights really. But I was getting a little bit more knowledgeable on like what I should be putting in my body to be healthy and like different exercises I could do. And I remember this one day I went to the beach with my family, and my mom took a video of me like in a bikini throwing a football to my cousin or something, and I watched the video and I was like, who is that? Like that is not me. I don't look like that. Like I have to do something because that's not how I want to look at all. So I tried to change things like right away. I tried to just cut everything and eat really strictly, which just led me to then binging. I tried running and I hated running, and it kind of just became this cycle of me like trying and then failing and just complaining about it. And like I swear my motto was, I'll start tomorrow. Like I would literally say that every day. I'd be like, oh, I'll start tomorrow, I'll start tomorrow. And it would end up me like saying I'll start tomorrow, eating a ton that night because I was planning on starting a diet, and then end up not starting a diet. So I was just eating like really bad in turn. So I wasn't really making any improvements. Like I still looked the same, but then I got a job at this really nice gym near my house, and I'd never gone to a gym before, but I was like, okay, I have this free membership. Like I have to do something. Like I can't just look like this and feel like shit and feel self-conscious all the time. Like it's just not healthy. So I was like, all right, let's give this a go. So I tried working out, and by working out I mean like just running on the treadmill. Like I didn't really know like what kind of stuff to do, so I just ran a little. I would try like different ab machines, but I wasn't really doing anything that would drastically change my body. So that's when I decided, okay, I need to start eating clean and like more balanced. I can't just be super strict because clearly that's not working. I started going to the gym before school, and then I would have dance practice after school, and I was on 3 dance teams at this point, so I was dancing like every single day for hours. I was eating good, I was getting way more comfortable in the gym, and at this point I had changed my birth control, so like my metabolism was speeding up, so I lost all the weight that I had gained. And at this point, you know, I was looking pretty thin, I was in shape, like I was feeling pretty good, and I looked and felt pretty good for the rest of high school. So then college rolled around, and I kind of always thought like the freshman 15 was just like a myth, but I was so wrong. I was taking really hard classes. I was like insanely stressed out. I stopped working out altogether. I was partying a lot. I was eating late at night after I would party. I was eating horribly. Like I was always just eating those like little microwavable Kraft mac and cheese. Like I ate that all the time. I would just eat like hoagies and fries and just like terrible thing, and actually ended up gaining like 10 pounds my first semester. And I kind of realized it was happening because like my jeans didn't really fit me anymore. Like I had a lot going on, you know, college is a big change in people's lives, so I was just like, all right, whatever. Like also at this point I was doing a half-year dance team, so I wasn't dancing at all the first semester. So I literally like the only physical activity I got was like walking to and from class and walking up the stairs. So when I came home for winter break, I was like, okay, I'm not doing this again. Like I don't want to look like this. Like so I realized like I need to do something. I need to get back on the health kick, because I just felt like shit all the time. Like I was always tired, and I always felt like my clothes were too tight, and I felt like I was getting like a double chin. So I started going back to eating well. I started working out again. So then the second semester came around, and I like barely went out. I was just really focusing on my grades. I went to the gym like 4 times a week. I became obsessed with this salad bar at my school. Like I ate salad every single day. And then I ended up actually losing the 10 pounds that I had gained in the first semester. And I was dancing again. So like from the first semester to the second semester, I just made a whole big change. I was like, I can't be living like this anymore. I have to somehow incorporate healthy living with the dorm life, because we all know that that's like close to impossible. But it was during my second semester that like my stomach problems started getting really bad again. Like I would just have this burning sensation in my like esophagus all the time. My stomach just never felt right. I was eating Tums every single day like they were candy. Like it just wasn't healthy. I was like, I need to do something about this. Like I've had these stomach issues my whole life. Like what's going on? And I was like always complaining about it. My mom was like, all right, we got to get to the bottom of this. So she made me an appointment to go see a a stomach doctor. And I told him what was up, I told him how I was feeling, so he was like, all right, let's go in there, let's check it out. So I ended up having an endoscopy, which is basically when they put you to sleep and they put a tube down your throat and just look in your stomach. But when they did the endoscopy, they found that I have a hiatal hernia. And for those of you who don't know what that is, it's basically where your stomach and esophagus connect. There's a hernia, so like I'll get regurgitation from my stomach, like stomach acid flowing into my esophagus. So that's why I was always in pain and why I was always feeling that burning sensation in my chest. So my doctor sat me down and he was like, okay, here's a prescription for these pills you can take to reduce the acid in my stomach and make me feel a little bit more comfortable. But I told him, like, I don't really want to be on medication for the rest of my life for this. Like, is there anything I can do to help it without like taking pills? And he basically said, like, okay, then you need to make a big change in your diet. You shouldn't be having dairy, spicy food, fried food, chocolate, like coffee can hurt it, alcohol. So at this point, like what I was eating was making me in pain like every single day. So I finally started taking my diet really seriously and I was like, okay, I don't want to be living this way. Like I looked pretty good on the outside, but I didn't feel good on the inside at all. So that's when I really started to eat better and, take my health more seriously, because like all that stomach acid in my esophagus all the time, like that's not good at all. So I started really watching what I was eating. Like I was writing stuff down, like I was trying to figure out what foods made me feel that way. And that's when I just kind of cut dairy out of my life. I was like, listen, dairy, like we're breaking up. It's not working out anymore. I try my best not to eat like fried food or processed food. I tried giving up coffee, but I went through withdrawal. So I was like, all right, just 1 cup a day like is okay. It doesn't really hurt my stomach too bad anymore. And then like towards the end of the summer and the fall, I was going through like just a ton of family and like personal stuff. I was just feeling like really lost. I'm not really gonna get into it right now, but basically the only thing that I felt like I could control was what I put in my body and how hard I work at the gym. Like I finally just stopped comparing myself to all these fitness models I'd see on Instagram, and I decided to just do it for me. Like no one's gonna push me harder than me. I started working really hard in the gym. I was eating really clean. Honestly, all the stuff that I was going through pushed me through my workouts at the gym every day. I was like, you know what? I'm doing this because everything else sucks, but rather than just wither away and be sad all the time in my bed, I'm gonna get out there, I'm gonna work hard, I'm gonna push myself because I wanna be a better version of me. And now I just feel like I have this whole new mindset that I've never had before. Like I'm finally just doing everything for me, and I don't wanna be like anybody else. I wanna be like the best version of me. And honestly, eating in a way that my body responds well to, like I finally figured out what kind of foods I should and shouldn't eat, like what kind of foods make me feel bad and what food makes me feel good. And just like staying hydrated, getting enough sleep, exercising, like it just makes me feel so good. And I know this is like a health and fitness journey, but honestly, mental health has so much to do with it. Like I think to be successful in anything, you need to have like a clear and motivated mind and have goals, and you have to do it for you. Like don't do it for anyone else. Like I don't eat healthy and work out because I want to look a certain way in pictures. Like no, I do it because I want to feel good, and I love the fact that I'm able to better myself every single day. And at this point in my life, I'm really enjoying like my diet and like training at the gym. I don't feel deprived, and I know like everyone says it, but it's all about balance. Seriously, like if I want to have some fries, I'm gonna go get some fries. Like bitch, if you want a burger, eat a burger, bitch, if you want some french fries. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this video helped motivate you or give you some insight. And I'm not saying that you have to go through all these crazy changes in your life in order to finally be able to make a change with, your health and fitness, but you seriously have to be just 100% mentally in it. You need to put yourself first. It's okay to be a little selfish when it comes to your health. If you're not gonna do it, no one's gonna do it for you. So never forget that you are beautiful, and you should always be trying to be the best version of yourself, not trying to be some girl you see on your phone, okay? Seriously, remember that. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and go ahead and click the subscribe button for more videos, and I'll see you guys in my next video.